Hey, Mr. Glash here. 2 years ago, I feel pretty vindicated at the moment. 2 years ago, I said Clash of Clans is going to be an esport. Now, I said this in March. Well, I actually predicted, or that was my wish, was in March 2016. Clash of Clans is going to be an esport. Now, I'm going to cover a lot about Clash being an esport in this video. And it's going to be multiple sections. We're going to have a look at what I predicted or what I wished for in 2016 in March. I did a video on it in December 2016. So 2 years ago, almost to the day kind of thing. And we're going to have a look at some other little interesting things to do with esports and to do with the recent announcement of a Clash World Championship coming. Because there's a lot more information to be had from the little 20-second video that Clash put out. If you know what to look for, there's a lot. So firstly, let's just have a look at this little video that Clash put out. And then I want to talk about some other things because this is pretty exciting news. Okay, I just want to stop it there. I want to draw your attention to the line of text that says above Clash of Clans logo. It says organised by ESL. I want to draw your attention to that because that's very important. Now, I'm going to cover that in a second because there's a tremendous amount of information that we can garner from ESL and if we follow some other avenues. Now, I want to talk about firstly, I want to bring up what I wrote in 2016. So I'll just have a look at this. So following ClashCon, in several conversations on the forum, I'd put the idea about Clash being a esport. And I was pretty well shot down in a lot of conversations. So in March 2016, I actually wrote this piece. Now, I'll just give some information. If you haven't seen this piece, and most people haven't, you'll see my reasoning, and then I want to talk about December 2016, and we'll see how things have progressed from there. So what I wrote was Halo has world competition. The world competition on March 18 to 20 offers $1 million to the first place team. Now, you did just notice they had $1 million written up there on the Clash video. CSGO has regular prize money competitions. Call of Duty has the same. Dota, or Dota 2, has a prize pool of $18 million for Dota. Why not Clash of Clans version of the same? Teams of 5, like we saw in Clash events, remember they had some in Korea and Tokyo, right? But they'd actually be good and know how to attack, not like the people shown on the previous live events. Obviously, ClashCon was an absolute disaster of people that really couldn't attack very well. And that was just pulled apart left, right, and centre by a whole and sundry of people. The public and the future players would really get to see something special. You could have a regular competition throughout the year, maybe host it like how the poker is hosted. That is, teams face off other teams in large rooms filled with gaming tables, a knockout style until there are just 2 teams left vying for the title, whatever that title might be, and prize money. Teams could be in a league with divisional ranks. What do we have now? We have a league with divisional ranks. Kind of how other sports work, like football. Wins over time don't matter. Only how you go against other teams as your rank goes higher. A graders match A graders, B graders match B graders, C graders match C graders, and so on. There could be local citywide leagues and smaller comps too, even playoffs to get to the main yearly championship where the big money is. And a subsequent YouTube channel, I'm thinking official YouTube channel here, where we could see streams of these live events. I think that is what Clash needs, and any ideas you could see to make this work. So that's what I originally wrote. Obviously, this person is saying we need to get rid of the cheats first. Then Steve-O was saying it might be good, but the wall format needs tournament formatting. Yes, that's what I said. We need a league structure and a few other tweaks and fixes. Now, I got negative. I'm speechless. Of course, you should run them. No, I shouldn't, as I said here. I should not run them at all. Supercell should run it because it is their game. But I see no reason people couldn't organise their own local things. Like, I don't know, people have poker nights or trivia nights. So why not a 5 versus 5 night or something? Or even a 5 versus 5 instead of poker night at a friend's place. Hey guys, come over tonight for a 5v5 war. I don't know who we'll match up against, but I've got the brewskis on ice. That kind of thing, right? I don't know, man. I don't have all the details or how it would work, but when I see the prize pool for Dota is $18 million, which is more than the Cricket World Cup. And we all know if you're in India and England, especially if you're in India, you know how big cricket is, right? It's more than the Cricket World Cup. And the winning team gets $6.5 million of Dota. The winning team in Dota 2 gets $6.5 million. Now, this was 2 years ago. As for the cheats, I think they'd need something to do about the 5 versus 5 system, something more like Clash Royale. This was my thought, where you had an instant connection with the server. Obviously, a 5 versus 5 thing would need a different time limit to combat it, and so on and so forth. Now, I got a comment here. There would not be much of an audience because this person gets to the point where they don't even watch their own raids. Now, Freya said they thought someone had mentioned the idea of ESPORT. I hadn't really seen a lot of Supercell people mentioning ESPORT. I certainly had been the one mentioning ESPORT. Maybe they thought that would happen with ClashCon. It just seems the marketing team, I'm not going to start going into a lot of the negatives there. Let's stop cheating. Then we've got another negative. 2 hours of go wipe attacks for Clash prizes. Not really interested. Obviously, if you're reaching the finals, you're not doing 2 hours of Clash of 2 hours of go wipe. And who's to say the war would be 2 hours long? So I've got some other comments here. I don't see it happening at the bottom. The game isn't close to any of those games. Call of Duty, League of Legends, and so on. Now, I'm going to cover this in a second, and you'll see why this is very important. And I'm going to get onto ESL, and I'm going to spill the beans on ESL as well. And I'm going to show you something that is very sneaky in their marketing. And I think you're going to enjoy this too when you see it. Trust issues, but okay. Now they're talking about too many mistakes clanmates make, so on. This is a reply to my thing. I hope this never happens. Those games require skill. I imagine the final being decided by the least stupid hero or wall breakers. So again, you've got another negative. I don't want to see it. Well, here's my response to that. Jake, Jake from One Hive, his walk recaps got good viewership. There's plenty of people who like watching recaps and 3-star attacks. That's the essence of it all. His live attack videos got good views as well. Plenty of people to happily watch attack replays. That doesn't necessarily end in a 3-star. I watch all of my clan's replays. I watch other people's. I watched all the ClashCon attacks, as bad as they were. And I couldn't help but notice the cheers when someone finally got a 3-star. In a tournament format, there was no way you'd be seeing an hour of go wipe. The 2-star go wipers would not make it through the qualifying because, by definition, the tournament format would have weeded them out, leaving the best attackers with hopefully the best bases or collection of bases, as they'd most likely change it after the attack, so not to give other players a chance to analyse it for later matchups. Instead of the way the attacks were started, okay, begin. I expect more of a boxing format. Fighter, are you ready? Attacker, are you ready? Clan member, are you ready? Okay, go in. That kind of thing. So I imagine that would be very interesting as a live sort of event. And in my head, I see a room full of combat tables of 5 versus 5, much like a poker room full of poker tables, as they weed out the lesser players until you have the final teams. I see it like this, and I think it would be great. That's what I wrote. I look at the darts coming out of England, and I see how they've turned a bland pub game into a little bit of excitement. So if you can get people excited about darts, okay, a lot of people play darts, a lot of people play Clash of Clans as well. Okay, this is how I see it being hosted. There's some more negative comments about cheaters. Then I address the person with the skill thing. In my experience, Clash of Clans is also a game of skill. It's just a different type of skill. A lot of people think my skills, for instance, I know we're talking about live here, and I said I know a guy that does really fantastic attacks after we've won the war, but if there's pressure on, his attacks go downhill. Okay, here's another 2-wipe go wiper, 2-star go wipe person. Again, I have to explain the bad attackers. By the time you're reaching the final, you should be left with some really good people, and that's fine. Now, other threads I'd mention this in. So this person is saying they don't think it will ever happen. Not sure they want it either. They don't know if the format is conducive to esports. Well, if you have a look at esports, what's determined at esports, yes, Dota and League of Legends, they're kind of quite similar, where you have two teams battling each other into a world. So that's what I wrote back in 2016. Now, I did a video on this in December 2016, and that video was titled Clash of Clans to be an eSport CEO confirmed. Now, I'll put the link to this video up there now if you want to go and watch it. I'll also put it in the description below. Now, in that video, Ilkka Paananen, who was the CEO in 2016, had talked about making esports exciting. That's what he had talked about. Now, the interesting thing, and the logic is behind this. Tencent Holdings, or Tencent owns Supercell. They own League of Legends. They have a 12% stake in Call of Duty. Now, we're going to get into some really interesting stuff here. ESL. Who is ESL? These are the people who are going to organise the Clash thing. ESL, this is ESL. ESL Pro League CSGO. You've got the CSGO major format explained for this 2019 tournament. Intel and ESL extend partnership to invest $100 million. ESL Pro League SA and $1 million. So we can see here $1 million, $1 million. Now you saw the little Clash video said $1 million. Now what's interesting about this? Look at this article right here. Brawl Stars, brand new game, joins Red Bull Mobile Esport Open, that's M.E.O, by ESL. Now, I'm going to show you the details on this one. We'll have a look at the details. So this has already been going, by the way. The final is in 2019, but here were the details. The tournament is split into 3 phases. Phase 1, you invite your content creators. They'll have their own dedicated single elimination cup, for which you can sign up. If your team wins the cup, you officially be part of the content creators team and move on to phase 2. The phase 1 qualifiers will be taking place from the 26th of November to the 9th of December. So this has already happened. So if you're into Brawl Stars, this has already happened. Obviously, all of these people, like Chief Pat and so on, and Galadon, I don't know the others, but they all have access to the Supercell developer build. They sign all the privacy contracts and everything they need. So, they don't do anything dodgy. And I don't know who all these people are. However, I don't need to. Itsu, obviously I know who Itsu is. They've all done their bit, and Supercell has recognized them as deserving of access to developer builds and even for these sorts of things, I'm assuming. So then we come down to, after that, we've got, don't know who the new influencers are or what that even means, but it doesn't really matter. These are more qualifying sorts of things. And all these links are to people's YouTube channels. So you can actually go and find out who all these people are that are doing the Brawl Stars. So then we come to phase 2, is where you're now a member of the content creators team. Your team is merged with the content creator becoming a leader who is obliged to play all the matches from this point forward. So that way the content creator is always going to be playing the matches, recording the matches, and promoting the matches as well. and it will also be broadcast. Then phase 3, the top 8 teams after all of this are going to be flown to Germany to compete at the Red Bull M.E.O by ESL World Finals on the 1st and 2nd of February. Okay, so what are the M.E.O Red Bull Finals? So let's go on to the next sport. Here we go. Red Bull M.E.O by ESL, September the 1st to 31st of January. It is Clash Royale. So Clash Royale, mobile esports open, but essentially the main game is Clash Royale. So ESL is already doing stuff with Clash Royale. They're already doing stuff with Brawl Stars, and they are going to organise with the assistance of Supercell for this format to come through for Clash of Clans. Now we have a look at the games that ESL is involved with, so we know if they've got some kind of experience. Okay, now you can play any of these games and try and join ESL competitions for free, a lot of these games. So we've got Rocket League, League of Legends, FIFA 19, Clash Royale, we've seen that already, Battlegrounds, Dota 2. Like I said, Dota 2, $18 million prize pool, $6 million for the winning team. If a team's got 5-6 players in it, they're getting $1 million each for winning. Okay, so you've got all of these other games. Hearthstone. Now, people said Clash of Clans is boring and it can't be an esport. Hearthstone, if you've never seen Hearthstone, Hearthstone is just a graphical representation of cards getting laid down on the screen. And if you ever go to Twitch and you watch the Hearthstone streamers on Twitch, they have massive viewership on Twitch, people watching Hearthstone on Twitch. So if you didn't know that, now you do. And yet that's just a graphical card game. Overwatch, which you've probably heard, Quake. Look, these first-person type shooter games, I cannot play them. I have motion sickness, but some of these, I try to watch them, and I do like the gameplay, but I can't. So, but Quake's been around for nearly 20 years or so, 18 years or something. So it's a long-standing game. Okay, so they are the games that ESL is involved into. Now, I think we have... I'm not sure if they have their games at the bottom of this. Hang on, we'll go through this because I wanted to go through this. Intel Masters, again, as we keep scrolling down here, StarCraft 2, you can see that they're putting on a big show on stage of all sorts of competitions, and they're involved in a lot of esports. Okay, now we're going to come up to something very, very interesting. Now, like I said, Tencent owns League of Legends. And I'm going to show you something that they used to help market the game. Now, I'm not saying Supercell would do something like this. League of Legends might have more players than Supercell. I'm not that. Now, you'll see here that November 13, Clan War Leagues, they had, it's an article, Clash of Clan, and this is, they had One Hive. They had members from One Hive that came in. So they're already trying a few little things. So ESL's been trying a few little things to make sure. Now you can see here they've got some games listed at the bottom here. Now I did see a text list of games. There we go. All these games that they play at the bottom here that you can see. Tremendous amount of games that they play. Now, the thing that I wanted to mention about League of Legends is they have taken League of Legends characters and created a pop group about it. Now, I know it's League of Legends, and League of Legends isn't Clash of Clans, but I want to show you a little bit from this. And is there a way, for instance, that you would have some Clash of Clans characters doing a song? Now, League of Legends is doing this to help sell skins, promote skins in the game for characters. However, I want you to have a look at this. This little video clip has 134 million views, and it's a band of game characters that have made up this thing. We're just going to have a little bit of, I just want to play a little bit of this so you can see what a Tencent owned company, game company, is doing to help promote their game. So I'm just going to play a little bit of this. I'll leave the link to this to this in the description below. You can go check it out as well if you like. That'll do. Okay, so the whole point of showing you that is, this is a Clash video, but the whole point of showing you that is that Tencent owns League of Legends. League of Legends has created a artificial pop group using characters. Now, I don't know if you would see a bunch of archers and some Valkyries and a couple of barbarians or something like that in a little bit of a mixed band sort of playing things. Get the wizard going, get a hog rider or something on the drums or something. I don't know. But it would be a funny thing to see. And hey, if it helps promote the game, who's going to not like it? So you could be sure that, for instance, at a League of Legends final or something like that, they might have that on stage on the big screen and everyone would get to see the League of Legends characters. But anyway, that's League of Legends. Now, like I said, 2016, I called for it. I predicted it 2 years ago, almost to the date. What was the video of the date on my prediction video was the 7th of December 2016. The link of that is in the description below. Everything I can link to in this, I'll link to it so you can check it out for yourself to see. Check all the information about ESL, who are organizing this and what the games they're involved in. And if you maybe like Brawl Stars or Clash Royale and you want to get into those, have a look at the ESL competitions because the ESL has them. And I'll link to the League of Legends video if you want to watch that in its entirety. I'll link to my other prediction videos. I'll throw the link into the thread that I just included as well if you want to have a bit of a read of some of the things that I talked about. Now, of course, in my video, I also talked about having a designated league structure before we can actually get anything going. So here we are 2 years later. We have a league structure where over time the best players will be playing against each other and so on, and it looks like we will be having an esport. Now, it's not necessarily going to be as big as Dota 2 with $18 million prize pool and $6 million going to the winning team, but $1 million, even if that's the full prize pool, with, I don't know, $10,000 or $20,000 going to each of the teams, that might be a good thing as well. And going by the amount of streams that you have on YouTube, you have a lot of streamers on YouTube, you have a lot of streamers on Twitch as well. And yeah, if you can have good streamers and good casters, like one of the comments was about the watching attacks or things like that. If you have good casters, these are the people who call the game. They have to be knowledgeable about the game. They have to be able to speak kind of quickly, almost like they have drunk cans of Red Bull as well, and be able to cast or talk over, just like a baseball caster or something like that, just very quickly call the action out as it's happening in the game. And that takes a little bit of a skill. So the Overwatch caster or the caster for League of Legends, I think it was League of Legends, he does the championship for League of Legends and he also does the Overwatch Championship as well, and he gets quite a lot of money because he knows the players, he knows the characters, he knows the gameplay, and he can spot what's going on and call it and call it and call it. So you generally have one really good caster, and you have a additional host who also assists that caster, but doesn't really interfere too much with what the good caster is doing within the game. Anyway, I just wanted to just give my thoughts on what I thought, that this was something that has been planning in the works for a long time, and I called it out over 2 years ago. And I kind of feel a little bit vindicated about that, a little bit happy that people were sort of saying, no, never going to happen. This isn't right. Clash could never be an esport. And yet here we are. I was going by the words, well, I thought it could be, and then I was going by a single sentence that the CEO of Supercell had said about esports and making them more entertaining and so on and so forth. And Clash of Clans has come a long way, and it looks like that is where we are at now. The light is at the end of the tunnel as far as Clash being an esport goes. Now, whether it transpires to have tremendous viewership, well, that remains to be seen. We'll see how exciting they can make the esports become. Obviously, people on a bright stage get a little bit nervous, and their attacks can be a bit faulty, or they can come across a certain way or another. But anyway, that is all I want to put out today, put out in this video. My thoughts on the esport, where it came from, and share the information about the company who is organising the esports ESL. So that's it for this video. Like, share, subscribe, or comment. Do please leave me your comments on this and tell me what you think. Something other. Don't tell me 2 hours of Go Wipe, because we already know 2 hours of Go Wipe is not going to happen. It doesn't happen in any of the invite leagues of CWL. It doesn't happen at the pro division of NDL. So it's not going to happen in the esport version of this game that gets streamed at the finals. So that won't happen. But any other thoughts or comments, definitely I'd like to hear what you guys think. Whoops. What you think. I'd like to hear what you think. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.